Hi guys, DJ Jack back with you here once again with another video. And in this video, I wanted to actually wish a very happy birthday to a very well Civil War general who is no longer with us. I mean, he's been dead for many years, but he's still one of a very, very big influence on the Civil War and hero of the Civil War. And that is President Ulysses S. Grant and General Grant, who Lincoln actually trusted, and Lincoln liked this man because he fought. He knew this guy would help us, he knew that he would save us, and it's good. We're good. But let's talk about some facts you probably didn't know about Grant. Ulysses S. Grant was president in the 1870s, and in 1870, he passed the 15th Amendment to the Constitution, which gave the African American men right to vote. That was under President Grant, under his first term. And that was one of the accomplishments Grant had. And one of the big reasons, well, things happened back then, like, he made sure that sending out people out and the, like, soldiers and stuff out to the South to make sure that nobody could take the African-American in the South rights to vote away. And later on, they started electing, like, the first African-American to the Senate and everything. It's very interesting story. Yes, that was one of Grant's biggest accomplishments during his presidency, but besides that, he didn't really have a great successful rest of his second term, didn't go so well and everything, but Grant was very well known as a general, though. Very well respected by Lincoln, very well guy, and, you know, it's great. So, happy birthday, President Grant and General Grant. Also, another thing about General Grant was, Grant actually, after his presidency, he traveled around the world for nearly almost more than a year, for 30 months, it said in my history book, and he was actually the first ever person to ever shake hands with a Japanese emperor. Very interesting story. First person ever, apparently, is what the history book said. First person ever to shake hands with a Japanese emperor, which is very, very interesting. I did not know that about General Grant, but yeah, that's true. That's really happened, which, I mean, he was pretty close, and he was actually, they said that he was the first presidential family, the Grant family, to visit Japan, apparently, is what also the book said, which is interesting. Now, ever since then, several people have visited Japan, several presidents, but Grant was the first, apparently, is what it said. So, it's interesting. It's very interesting. A lot of stuff that Grant accomplished a lot, even though he was a drunk addict, and he also was a smoker, heavy smoker, and that's kind of how he died with his cancer, but he also wrote his own book. Lots to learn about General Grant. Loved to go horseback riding when he was a kid, but basically also one time he was on a hurry somewhere, and he got run over by a police officer on his horse, which is very interesting story. I read about that story a few times. It's interesting. And he also entered a racing contest, I believe, when he was a kid, which is real. I read about too. It's very interesting. So that's all you can know about Grant, if you haven't heard the story about him being the first one to shake hands with a Japanese emperor, which is very interesting. He also on his journey with his wife, he met on his stop to England, he met Queen Victoria as well. Him and his wife Julia took a trip to England because they took a 30-month, more than a year journey around the world after his presidency. Him and his wife did that, which is interesting. And he had like almost a whole year he was away in overseas, which is interesting. So besides that, that's all I have to share about General Grant. So happy birthday, General Grant. Rock on, and we will talk to you guys again real soon.